Star Wars Celebration Japan Day 1 is over, so let's talk about what happened. In this video, we're going to be talking about the two publishing panels we went to today. One was all about manga, which was really cool. Had a bunch of artists and writers of various Star Wars manga that have either come out or are coming out. And then the main publishing panel. I think the big headline of both of these panels is that we're going to meet two new Knights of Ren. That's interesting.
Yeah.
So one is, I think, Tava Ren was their name, and they're going to be in the Legacy of Vader comic. I'm curious about the fact that they have Ren as a last name.
Yeah.
Because Kylo Ren is the only one that we know. The other ones are like Trudgen and Aplek and Kuruk. Yeah. So,
well, and then Ren.
Right. So I wonder
Ren, the original.
If Tava Ren is like a daughter or something related to Ren and wants to challenge Kylo. That's cool. That's my guess for this Tava Ren character.
I do definitely think it's a woman, because in all the art that we see, it looks like hair, a bunch of red hair coming out from underneath the helmet.
And it's interesting that, we haven't met this knight before, so that to me makes me think that it's not part of Kylo's crew, not someone that is considered a Knight of Ren, but someone that wants to make a name for themselves by like, hey, maybe you killed my dad or my uncle or my best friend or something, and now I'm going to kill you, challenge you for leadership over the Knights of Ren.
Were there any other Knights of Ren who were not men?
There definitely were in the Crimson Reign Hidden Empire comics.
Oh, okay.
But so many of those names, I'm like, Cardo could be anyone.
That's true. Yeah, we never get to see their faces.
We don't see faces.
I wonder where they got those names from. Probably had to pick out of a hat.
Oh man, I'm Trudgen.
Trudgen is like, dang.
Dang it. The other one is going to be in the Path of the Lightsaber manga, which takes place in between episodes 8 and 9. And they were described as a Knight of Ren apprentice, which is interesting. Another concept we have not heard of before. Maybe Tava Ren could have been like Ren's apprentice or something before Kylo killed him. I don't know. But in Path of the Lightsaber, we are getting a Knight of Ren apprentice, which I just don't know whose. Again, are we just going to pick on Trudgen this whole time? But like,
maybe.
Did Trudgen have an apprentice?
It's a nice villain group, because you don't know how many there were. They can kind of pop up whenever, wherever. So I think it makes sense to use more of the elements of the Knights of Ren in these various stories.
I also think they just make for good comic characters because of how striking they all look. They all do have cool character designs. So seeing a new one, seeing an apprentice, I'm like, sure, bring it on.
And the one specifically for the Legacy of Vader run is cool because we're kind of seeing bits and pieces along the way of like why Kylo Ren is the way that he is when we see him in the sequel trilogy. So we could see more of that where, he learns more from these other Knights of Ren. Yeah,
like we're only 3 issues in for Legacy of Vader right now. And I haven't had time to read the 3rd issue yet, but I wonder when the Knights of Ren are going to be more present in that story. I guess Tava Ren might be the one that pulls them in more closely.
Yeah.
But the Path of the Lightsaber manga did sound really cool. The writer and artist for that walked us through the process, talked about this character who finds a lightsaber. It kind of sounds like a similar setup to Skeleton Crew, where they just kind of stumble across what actually is a Jedi temple.
Yeah.
Instead, Wim thought it was a Jedi temple, but this actually is one.
And they find a lightsaber.
And they find a lightsaber in the hands of a dead Jedi from the High Republic. And Clayton Sandell, who was the moderator of that panel, asked, do you want to tease who that lightsaber belongs to? And the guy didn't. So we still don't know. But
well, he did say it was an original design, so he was very excited.
He was excited that he designed his own lightsaber, but it sounded like it might have belonged to someone we know. I don't know if that's the case, but I'm wondering if that skeleton is someone that I'm going to be sad about.
Oh, no.
Speaking of the High Republic, we also got a little look at Trials of the Jedi, and they showed off concept art of the Luminous Nine, which they also showed the back cover of Trials of the Jedi.
Now we have a front and back cover.
Right. Well, it sounds like there's going to be a group of Jedi who go to Planet X, the homeworld of the Nameless, and I think that is the Luminous Nine. Which, I'm just like, hell yes, make it 9. Like, we have a fellowship of Jedi, just like, it's very Tolkien.
And they all have these very, like, Jedi Temple Guard type
armor.
Masks and armor.
And I love that, like, Aslan Rel is on. Honestly, I love and hate the lineup because I'm terrified for, like, Reeth is on there. Protect my boy Reeth. Bell's been through enough. Like, this is going to be a dangerous journey. And I'm scared that Bell, there's Buryaga again. Like, stop putting him in peril. Aslan Rel, I could see him dying, but I really like him as a character. Torben Buck. They got into Wayseeker and the Crystal Crown a little bit. I know some people, including me, we were kind of like crossing our fingers that maybe they would tease the next big publishing initiative, if there is one. They didn't go into anything like that. Honestly, no big, like, bombshells.
Right. Yeah.
As far as announcements go.
It was a lot of cool art reveals, but like you said, not a whole lot. The art of Andor.
That was a fun surprise.
Yeah. Phil talked about having worked on this for a little while, and it's going to cover both Season 1 and Season 2 of Andor. I'm
really grateful for that because I keep wanting Disney Plus to do a making of, and I don't know that they're going to, but now, like, we're going to have a full story of kind of the process of developing Andor Seasons 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Adam Christopher talked about Master of Evil a little bit, said that it is close to the end of Revenge of the Sith, and talked a lot about working with Charles Soule's Vader run, which also is like right after Revenge of the Sith. But he said there's this gap that he found in the story that he's going to flesh things out. And
a gap that he said specifically that he thought maybe Charles Soule didn't even know about.
Yeah. So I'll be curious to see where that gap is. He seemed really into exploring the promises that Palpatine made to Anakin and be like, does Vader ever want him to follow up on that?
Right.
Didn't you promise that we were going to find the secrets to life and cheating death? And that just seems to get dropped.
Right.
So that sounds cool. Chris Kimchall was also there, who wrote The Rise and Fall of the Galactic Empire. He teased a new book or something. He teased that it might be a Wedge story.
It sounded like he was done writing from the point of view of Beaumont Ken,
yes,
but
he's been talking to another character.
Yeah, so we might get another similar style book, kind of like talking about the history within Star Wars, but maybe from Wedge's perspective.
Yeah, it could be like just a memoir of someone who was part of the rebellion from before the Battle of Yavin all the way until the Battle of Jakku. So it could be, kind of a rebellion history book.
Yeah.
I love that idea. I mean, he teased it by saying Red 2 standing by. I was like, couldn't be Red 3? Whatever, that's fine.
Just one number off.
But, I mean, Biggs's memoir is a lot shorter, unfortunately. Alyssa Wong also teased a project that they said could involve some characters that they'd written for in the past, which I'm like, Afra? I mean, Afra is already getting a new comic with a new writer. but I'm curious what that could be.
That was kind of a vague tease.
And Alyssa has written for more characters than just Afra, but that's where my head goes because I thought that comic run was super fun.
That's where your head wants.
It is.
I want more Afra.
That's true. And we're already getting more Afra, and yet still I'm like, but more?
But more?
I'm all right. But that was just part of what happened on Friday at Star Wars Celebration. So we're going to be putting out more videos throughout the day. I'll put a playlist and I'll link to that so you can go check out all of our coverage covering all of the news and the announcements and just fun stuff that happened. If you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel.
Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and Blue Sky.
And consider checking out our Patreon page. As always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.